Andre, pleasure to meet you. If you wouldn't mind kicking us off, tell us more about your background, the origin story,
Mhm.
where you're at right now, and kind of leading up to you've had multiple startups, so we'd love to
Yep.
hear like everything before kind of your startup journey.
Okay, cool. So, hi, good morning. Thank you for the invitation, of course. I'm André Azevedo. I'm based in Portugal at the moment. I'm always in one side of the Atlantic, that is European soil and US soil. So, I have a degree in electrical engineering, and since 2002, more or less, before entering the university, I started doing things inside of organizations. So I was working as a volunteer in an NGO. Then I proposed and I built a new area inside of that NGO. So that was the beginning of building new things for the society. It's the basic of entrepreneurship, but it was building a new department inside of an organization, an NGO in this case. Then I started working in a company. I built my own NGO at some point, so I left that NGO and I built a new one to teach people how to surf for free, because I want more friends to surf, because I don't like to surf alone. Today, it's grown a lot since 2011, and now we are 9 on the staff, and we do much more than surf, like climbing, canyoning, cycling, etc., etc., etc. A lot of cool stuff.
Is there good surfing in Porto?
Yeah, awesome. So you have the biggest wave in the world near, that is Nazaré. You have one of the easiest beach to learn how to surf, that is in the super near the city center, like 15 minutes or something. So you have metro to go there, you have bus, you have everything to surf on that. So it's one of the best places to surf in Europe, because it's super near your accommodation typically and the city center, so it's quite easy. And then in 2014 happened something in my life and my co-founder's life. So more or less in the same week, I fall asleep at the wheel. He also fall asleep at the wheel. I was lucky. He was lucky actually also. But so I woke up in the middle of the highway while I was driving on the right side of the highway at 4 a.m. doing 10 miles. So the distance is super short, but I was really tired. On his case, he fell asleep. He crashed to a parking car, a stopped vehicle. He totaled both cars, but luckily he was not injured. So he was really, really lucky. So, and on that week we were talking about, we are not bad drivers. We never have strong accidents. I never have actually a strong accident. It was the only one and the last one until today. So we need to find innovation and technology to fix this problem. So we look at the market and we start building a startup. It was called Healthy Road. And we were building an hardware and a software solution. So we built our own computer, our own camera that was cheaper than the competition, and the software to work and to monitor people's faces. And we improved that technology. We tested with BMW, with Bosch. We started supporting Bosch actually. And in 2019, we sold that company for a Portuguese company. And we keep running on that business till the COVID. The COVID struck, and correctly, the CEO of the group put all the teams together with one objective, and they kill our business unit. So they kill our business unit, and for me it was like, okay, you kill my baby, you kill my objective in life, so I need to change stuff. So
you were acquired by them.
Yeah, we were acquired by them.
How long were you working for that company?
Like 1 year and a half, almost 2. So then in April 2021, with 2 investors from US, the same co-founder and his brother, his younger brother that was working on Bosch, we thought about, okay, selling hardware is tough. Selling hardware doesn't democratize the access to this kind of technology. and doesn't fix the problem, because we are only able to target niches, specific fleets that are willing to invest on this, etc., etc., etc. So we start with a new vision about we need to help and assist any driver in the world, no matter if they are in US or in Africa or in Asia, no matter. It needs to work everywhere. And for that, we need to develop AI and computer vision from the ground up to run on smartphones and tablets, because everyone has one. All the tablets and smartphones has a selfie camera. They are not great in terms of processing, especially computer vision and image processing. But together, Rui and Philippe, they have a lot of knowledge on AI and computer vision, and they managed to do that with a very high performance. So currently we are processing, for the ones that are more techy, we are processing our neural networks on CPUs. Our technology works better in CPUs than in GPUs, because you have better CPUs on smartphones. So, and we start from that. Currently, our goal is to sell our software development kit. That is a piece of software that can be embedded, integrated inside of apps that already has a large user base. And that's why we sell one time, they implement one time, and then we reach millions of users around the globe. As we see on my background is where we already have monitoring and assisting people currently. It's almost all over the world. It's still missing Africa, but we're gonna do that later. And currently, we are launching actually in the first ride sharing or ride hailing app, like similar to Uber, our technology to start supporting the new taxi drivers in Asia and in Brazil or in Latin America. So they are the second most downloaded app for ride hailing in the world. So we are starting to speed up. After that, we want to go for teenage driving to build a teenage driving campaign in US. Is exactly what we are building right now, because actually road accidents are the first cause of deaths in the age group of 16 to 25. It's crazy. We need to assist those drivers. We need to assist those teenagers in order to guarantee that they arrive there in their home safely. So we are building that to launch in US next year, and maybe in Australia also, doing the same thing on both markets. So, and this is where we are today. So heavy investment on tech, a lot on AI and computer vision to increase the performance. Today we do much more than sleep detection and distraction detection. We do facial recognition while you are driving. That is important for ride hailing. We do fatigue monitoring system. So we want to stop you from driving when you are highly fatigued. We don't want to wake you up. We want to be preventive. And in the future, we're going to go for stress detection, stroke detection, impairment detection also. And it's long story short, it's more or less like that.
I like it. I just want to make sure I understand correctly. So you not only build your own apps and software that does this and helps people with fatigue and detection, but you also kind of license out the software to other companies that are doing something similar.
Exactly. So our goal is to be one day inside of Waze, Google Maps, Uber, Lyft, and all Geotab apps and all of those apps that are used by people while they are driving to assist them in real time.
Nice. I like it. Take us back to kind of the early days of, selling this. How did you kind of go about finding your first few customers? Because you sound very B2B. So how did you go out and secure your first customer? Was it a trial period? Was it just selling them and securing them? Tell me.
So we need to think that we are creating a new market area. As for example, Google Maps disrupted the TomTom and Garmin devices. As Uber disrupted taxi, how you request a taxi and how you pay for it. We are doing the same thing on driver monitoring system. You don't need to buy any hardware. You don't need to install that hardware to be installed by a professional. No, you use your device. You have the freedom to use in any place, and our technology needs to adapt to that. So, yes, our goal is to be to have a super fast growth on the market. And to have a super fast growth, we need to work in partnerships with companies that already have apps in the market with large user base. So the effort to put our SDK in an app that is used by 100 drivers is the same effort to put in an app that works for millions of drivers. So our goal is to go for the biggest ones for a fast market penetration. Why? We are an AI first company, meaning that the amount of good data that we receive is critical for the improvement of our algorithms, right? Because our facial features are different in anyone, right? So we need to collect data to train the algorithm, our AI, in order to perform perfectly in any face in the world. So our goal is to scale rapidly, collect data in order to improve the AI, and also this data is critical for example, risk assessment for insurance companies, to give to the municipalities about, hey, this road is bad designed because we are receiving this type of alerts in this specific place from this specific type of drivers, etc., etc., etc. So this data is not available today, and we're going to bring that data available to the public and to the entities that can change the way billboards are published, where the roads are driven, and also how we teach drivers to become better drivers. Because if you think, you learn how to drive at 16, 17, and then no one teach you nothing until you stop driving at 80 years old. So you need constant feedback to improve your performance while driving, right? And that is what we are doing.
I like it. I was actually just about to ask about the insurance angle. I could see a lot of insurance companies seeing a lot of value out of this. We suggest you're very fatigued right now, so maybe you shouldn't drive, and instead you order an Uber to get you home, and that might look better on your insurance statement of this person is a responsible driver, and we can lower their premium.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly. Or you are a very good driver and you are always a good driver like myself, no crashes, nothing. Why I need to have the same rate as the other person that is not so responsible while driving, right? So we need to create a benefit for the good drivers, and we need to teach the other drivers to become better drivers. And becoming a better driver is by receiving alerts in real time, telling them that this is a bad behavior, you should change that. You should stop driving when you are highly fatigued. Sleep 10 minutes is much better than drinking 40 coffees. That is the same answer on your body. So you need actually to stop. And fatigue, everyone knows that driving distracted is dangerous. Everyone knows that driving impairment is dangerous, but fatigue is much more dangerous than those two. Because when you fall asleep, you don't push the brakes before you're crashing. So it's the most dangerous way of having a crash. And the society doesn't feel that. Everyone thinks that, I can go. I can push a little bit more. I'm almost arriving at my home, like myself. But then you blink, and your blink, instead of being milliseconds, is 2 seconds or 3 seconds. And that is enough for you to change the lane and crash.
Yeah. When I think of traffic and car fatalities in the US, I think of drunk driving. What's the numbers difference between drunk driving versus fatigue driving?
We need to think that no one says to the insurance company that they crash because they fall asleep, right? Yeah. So numbers that you have are low. So today, the most frequent cause of accidents is distraction. Second, because of the smartphone. Second is speeding. Third is fatigue. Fourth is impairment. Even though that we are not getting the right numbers on fatigue, so it's very high. And it's if we think about auto insurance losses in last years, they are losing year after year. They are losing even more. So the problem on distracted driving is huge. It's surpassing everything, and it's difficult to fix. So for us, being inside of the smartphone, that is the main cause of distraction nowadays, is the perfect fit.
How did you, so we talked about your first customers, but I'm very interested. A large part of the program we do here is kind of idea validation and like MVP testing. How did you kind of get your first working prototype tested? What did that look like? Was it just you and your co-founder driving around at night?
We started in April. In July, we have the first app running the first AI algorithms. So from April to July, we solved the problem of running complex algorithms on smartphones. So it was the first barrier. So since then, we are piloting with family, friends, then companies that are early adopters and they start testing. Then you grow from free pilot as the early adopters to paid pilot. And all our customers, because we are teaching the market, because we are disrupting the market, you need to teach it also. And by teaching, we need to prove that our technology works. So typically, you do a paid pilot for 1 or 2 months, and then they decide to implement the technology in their apps or use our app in the meantime while they are implementing our SDK. So it's in almost all the customers is exactly the same process, and is how you learn what your customers want, second, build the product that they are looking for, and test the product in real life scenario. Because me faking asleep is different than a person falling asleep at the wheel in real life.
Yeah, very much so. Awesome, man. I love it. Sounds like you're saving lives, Perfect. Let's change gears a little bit here, pun intended. Tell me more about your local startup ecosystem in Portugal and specifically in Porto. It looks like you built multiple startups there and exited from them as well. So there must be something good in the water in Porto, to stay there and build and exit. So tell me more about kind of the local ecosystem and some of the advantages of building in Porto.
Okay, so why we are on both sides of the Atlantic? So we have WingDriver Inc. in US, the main company, and then we have a small company in Europe, in Portugal. Why we are working on both sides of the Atlantic? To take advantage of both markets. So US, it's much richer and developed in terms of risk perception, investment capability. So it's easier to raise capital for such an innovative kind of technology. European, we are more conservative. So it's much more harder to raise that capital to start and to begin with. On the other side, in Portugal, the burn rate or the investments or the cost of this operation is much lower than in US and in some countries in Europe. You have very good engineers at a very good price. Cost of living is very good and very cheap. Not cheap, but it's very affordable. So which means that for the same amount of money, you have more runway, more time. And that is critical when you are building a deep tech company, because you need 3, 4 years, 5 years to reach the maturity level that you need on your AI. Because you need to collect data, label data, improve the AI, and over and over and over again. So this is really important. So what I normally say is that we convert US dollars in euros, we invest and we build in euros, and then we sell in US dollars for everywhere in the world. So that is how we manage to take advantage of the most developed markets that you can reach for, and that they are easy. Nice. Easy, not easy, but the most interesting ones, at least in my opinion.
Nice. Is most of your team made up of local hires in Portugal, or are you more decentralized?
Very cool question. So mainly our team is in Portugal, yes. But then I have sales reps in Chile, in Australia, in US. So we are a remote company. So we have offices in Portugal if you want to go, but everyone works mainly remotely, even in Portugal. So it's a matter of fit. Why we have a sales rep in Australia? Because the guy knows a lot that market, actually the world market, and he was selling a similar technology in the past. So it's the right person to help us out to grow. So do not limitate your company grow and team because of their location, because everyone can do remote.
That's so cool that you found a very specific salesperson who had a background in selling similar technology, You're like, well, he's in Australia, but that's okay as long as he gets the job done.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing is that you have meetings at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m., but it's okay. It's normal, right?
Yes, I understand. We're about to start a program with some Japanese startup founders, and so my day will go from 9 a.m. where I start here with my students till 9 p.m. whenever I finish with my Japanese startups. So
Exactly.
It's a very interesting, but it's cool to see how like the world is getting smaller.
Yeah. Like us, at least myself, I work more on the afternoon because US wakes up after my lunch period. But it is good also because in the morning my email, it's more or less stopped, or not stopped, but lower in terms of communications and chats between the team. And so it's where I do all the work, and then it's managing on the afternoon mainly, and meetings.
Nice. We just gotta find a way to get these planes getting us there faster, but problem for another day.
We need a startup entrepreneur that's gonna work on teletransportation. I would love to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to LA next week, and it's gonna be 12 hours in a plane doing almost nothing. And it's so boring, and then 12 hours back. Yeah. But it is what it is. It's better to have 12 hours and to reach the destination that we want than not being possible to do it. So
very much so. Awesome. Well, I always love to ask, like I said, I got a lot of students that are first time and early stage founders. And as somebody who's exited, or worked at and exited from multiple startups, what's that one piece of advice or that one mistake you made that you want to help the next generation to avoid?
So there is two things. One is keep on pushing, because this is not a sprint. This is a marathon, big marathon. And when you are almost dying, something happens and then you go up again. So be aware that is not an easy path, but it's a path that is doable. If you can have on your bank account 6 months of a salary of money to invest on your company, or to invest in yourself to have time to grow the company, if you can. But if you don't, please start. You're gonna find a way to find money, because money always appears. And the second one, select very well your teammates, your team, and select by their profile, not by their skills. Because profile, you are not able to train. Skills, you are able to train. So if the culture is not there, if the culture is not there, it will not work. So you need to guarantee that the culture fits, and then you can train in AI, in whatever it needs to be trained, right? But the soft skills, it's much difficult to train. So that is where we spend the most amount of money, is in team. Building the team is the most difficult part, and it is why what I think that is the most important message that I can pass. If he doesn't like to drink beer, joking, like myself, maybe it's not a fit, right?
I feel you. Awesome. So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Aim for profile over skill set, because skills can be trained. Perfect.
Yeah. Exactly. And do not be scared to trust on your feelings and change the direction you are going, because you know better than everyone.
We had one student yesterday who he had an idea, and what we did was let's go and talk to our customers first before we put any money in this, and let's verify that there's an actual desire for it. He came back into my office yesterday and said, well, I talked to everybody and they said they didn't want the idea. I said, that's all right, we're gonna pivot. What's the next idea? He goes, all right, we're gonna do this. Cool.
Exactly.
So I think it's very easy to feel that that pressure of, do I have the right idea? And then I have to stick with that. I already said it to somebody, so now I have to stick with that idea. You're like, no. We're going to pivot, and we're going to keep pivoting until we find that perfect product market fit. And then we're going to keep growing. And hell, even after we do that, we're going to pivot a little bit here and there to make it even better. So
exactly. You are adapting all the time, your idea, your product, your business. And in the end of the day, if you sell or if you stop working at that company, look at back and think what you have learned, right? Because for me, being an entrepreneur is a capability of learning what I want in the end of the day, because I need to learn how to go to the post office, pick up a box or send a box or whatever. I need to know about tax in US and in Europe. I need to learn how to teach people, how to train people, how to recruit people. And that is massive. What you earn by being an entrepreneur is much more in the same time if you work in a company, because in a company, you're going to do A or B equals something, right? And they're going to do that job that is A, or the B job, or the C job. You learn a lot, definitely. It's very good. It's a very good path also. But if you want to have a broader knowledge, an entrepreneurship or a company allows you to do that because it forces you to learn everything.
Yep, you're gonna learn a lot and learn real fast. So
yeah, exactly, and you fail real fast.
Yep, yes, you do. So, André, thank you so much for your time today. Any last comments, or would you like to shout out anything before we go?
Yeah, so please, I know that everyone is the best driver in town, especially you guys that are still in university, but be careful. It's not very dangerous, but you need to be focused while driving. Please, okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you, André. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.